Thanks, Nelson. Hi, everybody. I'm Don, and I'm going to be talking to you about the IR-800Plus. All right. So our agenda today, we'll be talking about the IR-800Plus, and we'll be talking about how it enhances student learning, some key points. We'll review the old IR-800, and we will be talking about the enhancements and features for the IR-800Plus, some configuration options, stuff like that. So we'll get moving here. The Speech, Language, and Audiology Canada quote here, it says that these types of systems should be used if possible. It achieves clearer speech signals, and it just helps to keep everyone engaged. It's helpful for the teacher, and it's helpful for the kids. The kids can hear the teacher properly, and background noise won't be as intrusive, and can keep everybody connected. And that's why we have the IR-800Plus voice lift system. So here it is here. It's a second generation. We had the IR-800, and it was very successful. What we've done is we've added a few features to enhance the sound. We've also got a few configuration possibilities now available that we didn't have before. It's still easy to install. We've even added more microphones into the mix just to make things more interesting. The original IR-800 was a single speaker system that covered the classroom, a typical 30 by 30 classroom. It's a wide dispersion speaker. There weren't many components to it. It's the mixer, the speaker, the microphones. It was easy to install. The microphones are light, so there's no fatigue there wearing them all day. And there was some expandability with the optional interface unit. Here's how we set it up. There's the microphone transmitting to the IR sensor, that's the ring around the speaker. There's a single Cat5 cable required that goes back from the speaker, which has a power amplifier built in, Class D power amp. It's rated for plenum ceilings, and you can see you can send all of the audio that's in the classroom now that's available, the teacher's PC, perhaps their phone, maybe a DVD player, maybe not, maybe something else, even a 3-band EQ. Very straightforward, very easy. Also available is that assisted listening device output. So that's what we had. The single speaker covered the room nicely because it's a 170-degree dispersion, a couple of microphones in the mixer. Very effective. We've got good feedback over the years. This assistant principal says it's very easy to use. The teachers are happy to use it daily. They've compared it to other systems and found the TOA system to be superior. This grade 3 teacher says it's easy to use. It allows her to move about easily. She's not hampered in doing that, and they've been enjoying it. It's been very, very good so far. So we're going to we've been trying to improve it. We're listening to feedback, what they've been asking us to add. We're trying to improve the functionality, which is how we came up with the IR-800Plus. So we're going to discuss some of the enhancements, the new features. One of them, which is huge, is built-in feedback suppression. A microphone, when the teacher is walking around, that teacher was saying how easy it is to move around. They're not have any problem with that. But if you're moving under the speaker, there's going to be some issues. So it's great to have this added feature to help fight feedback suppression. Plus, now we have additional microphones that are available, up to 4 microphones. You'll notice that we're also talking about priority control. We're going to discuss that a little bit later, as well as separate mode. What does that mean? So we'll be talking about that too. Other features, it's a 5-input mixer, as we discussed. The assisted listening device output allows, if there is a student in the classroom that does have a hearing aid and requires his or her transmitter to be connected, they can do so. And plus, there's also a mute in. So if there is an announcement coming from the office, it will duck everything that's being played locally so that the announcement can be heard. This interface that we have here, the IR-801AF, is only needed for IR-800Plus kit number 2, because in kit number 2 there are 2 speakers used. So this interface, you can use it with multiple tuners, which we'll talk about, as well as speakers. It allows combining as well as separating of zones. It allows priority control for the IR-310M microphone, which is the one that the teacher would use, and connects between the tuner and the speakers, and it's all Cat5 connectable, so very easy to connect. We're going to show you some wiring diagrams in a moment. The speaker now is able to receive transmissions from up to 4 microphones, as I mentioned. We have A and B microphone as well as 1 and 2. It's plenum rated, easy to install. It has a built-in, I think it's the only powered speaker that we have in our lineup with a built-in Class D amp that's 20 watts. It's a wide dispersion speaker up to 170 degrees and easy to mount. And we supply the reinforcement ring and so forth in the kit. Here's that mic that I was talking about. The teacher's mic has a priority function switch, which you can see on the side there. So if one of the kids goes off the rails and starts, I don't know, exploring colorful language or something like that, the teacher can lock that down by jumping in and muting and taking over the conversation. So it allows a certain amount of control there, which is great. You can use this microphone as a handheld or around your neck on a lanyard. 8-hour operation with a single AA battery. That function button that we talked about. LED light interference. Yeah, sure. We can talk about that. I'll get to that in a second. And it has the clothing clip, so you're able to latch it onto your belt or wherever you like. Because we can have multiple microphones, we also have this IR-200M. You can see it here sitting in its battery charger, the IR-200BC. You're able to incorporate a number of different mics as you see fit. You're able to, also if you're using rechargeable batteries, you can use up to 2 microphones in that battery charger, and it only takes 3 hours to charge them up properly. So there was versatility. We were looking at that. We know that there are some situations where there may be a classroom that is dividable, or there may be a classroom that is too large for a single speaker. And so we've got some options here for you. So first off, this is what they call a 2-channel system for a large classroom. So there's 2 microphones and 2 speakers. So you can see that the audio interface unit has been included because there's 2 speakers in this situation. But you'll notice in the zoom in there in the circle, it's showing that switch. You can either combine or separate. So these are, the speakers are combined, so they're broadcasting the same program. And so in a large classroom that's beyond the 30 by 30, you can have this set up. Perhaps a library or a not your conventional classroom. I know that they were so popular, different customers have been using them in auto shops and different things like that. So this is an option for a larger classroom. The next system is very similar. You notice that there's here's the previous one. We've added a tuner. There's still 2 speakers, but now with the additional tuner, we can have up to 4 microphones. If you'll notice the top left, the teacher's microphone is channel A, and that microphone will have that priority switch that they can use if needed. So this is a single zone, the way it is, because you can see in the blow up, it's still combined, despite having 2 tuners. So you can use this in a large classroom and with more microphones. Now here's a 2-channel system for dual classroom. So you can see if I just go back, it's the same equipment, but we're using it in a different way. We've moved that switch over to separation. So that means now that if there's a classroom that the school has where there's a movable wall, you're able to separate and now have two zones operating at once. So 2 microphones in one area, 2 in another. There's a teacher mic in both. There's a handheld in both for the students, and they can move forward that way. I know I've heard that there are different classrooms where there's an air wall. We can use this system just by clicking on separate in order to take care of that. Here's it's very basic. Here's the connections for the system. Cat5 from the speaker to the interface, and then Cat5 from the interface back to the tuners. There is that assisted listening device output. We've put in a couple of a transmitter and a receiver, our WT2100 series assistive listening that you could utilize, but of course it doesn't have to be that. It can be whatever is needed in the classroom. So you can buy all of that equipment separately, or you could, but I think it's better to use them in kits, and we've put together kits to help. And this is really one of the only areas where we actually can use the previous existing to add those tuners. So yeah, so you can add and you can modify the kits as you need it, definitely. But we do have kits available. So if you wanted a single speaker, you'll see kit 1 there. They have multiple microphones. So because they have more than 2 microphones, you need 2 tuners. There's the AF interface there. That's kit 1. And then we provide all the cables, the reinforcing ring, everything is in the box. Kit 2, there are 2 speakers, but only 1 mic. You can have an optional second mic there because there's only 1 tuner. It can only have up to 2 microphones, and the interface because there are 2 speakers in that room. So you could, if you wanted to, add additional equipment and change it as you see fit. But right now, these are kits that are available. The IR-800Plus is available like this. So then we can just change it to however you need it. A big benefit of this speaker that we're using is the fact that it covers the whole room with just 1 speaker. Uniform sound, which is, great, just coming from 1 speaker. It's a single point, so there's a single wave going out, and, only not really much of a hotspot because it's 170-degree dispersion. But if you look at the conventional speaker example there, you're going to have multiple hotspots. So we were talking about feedback. 3 or 4 times more chance for feedback. And yes, the sound waves will interact with each other, and sound won't be as great. But I think as an integrator, my view on that is that if my competitor, we're going for the same school board, I'm running with TOA and my competitor's got something else and has multiple speakers, I've already got a leg up. I've only got to install 1 speaker. I've only got to cut 1 hole. I've only got to run 1 cable. So when you start to add that up, that time, that, the labor involved and stuff like that up and down, it makes a big difference. So there's a lot of benefits to going with TOA. Another one is the fact that we're using infrared. Something that I've come across, and probably you have too, over time, if we're talking about post-secondary, universities and colleges are very much, they use UHF quite a bit. And the great thing about this is that when you're using infrared, it doesn't leave the room. So it's really confined. The IR transmissions don't go beyond the drywall. So, and that always perks the ears of different facilities and AV guys in universities, because you don't have to worry about what channel your neighbors are on. You could have 100 classrooms in a row, and there's not going to be any bleed over, no interference, and they can just go in and install a system and not have to worry about maxing out certain frequencies and stuff like that, and having to really worry with that. Everything's contained within the classroom. So it's a big plus. Here are some of the boards that are enjoying our equipment right now. We've had great experiences with those, and so we're working with them, and good experiences there. Do you need a demo kit? Please let your regional sales manager know, because we do have demo kits available. If you'd like to take one to go to a customer and demonstrate, please let us know. We have kits available. We're not just IR classroom systems. We also have audio solutions for all sorts of different things in schools. Gymnasiums are very tricky to work with, and really they're a real multi-purpose room. They're not just sports, they're theatrical rooms, they're performance spaces, they're places for assemblies where you really need to have intelligibility. That's not very easy in a gym, so we have solutions for that. Is your customer perhaps looking for a new PA system? They're looking to improve their paging and public address system. We can help with that, definitely. We have the tools for that. Perhaps you're working with a school that is looking for intercom. They want to upgrade their intercom system. We have our N8000 IP intercom system, which has all the bells and whistles that you need. Speaking of bells, there's bell scheduling, not just classroom communication, but also front door access, because all the schools are locked down. We can help with that. So lots of different things that we're looking at that we can provide you with and help you with your customer. As far as the question about lights and interference for infrared, maybe you can email us your questions. I wish I had my tech with me right now. I know that there have been issues in the past, and sometimes those issues are taken care of by changing out the existing lights being used. That sounds more complicated than I think it actually is. It's just changing light bulbs and stuff like that. But please let us know, because we have had solutions to that issue, and we can talk more about that. But they were solved.